concept is basically don't feel like you have to spend all this time looking backwards. My grandmother was a very, very, very spunky person, right, Tammy? Very spunky. And she had this saying, if anybody would ask her for advice, she would say this. She raised 6 kids by herself in post-Depression Arkansas. 6 kids by herself. You would ask her a question about what to do, and she says, all I can tell you is you cannot move forward with your head screwed on backwards. So if you spend most of your time talking about your mistakes and what you've done, I just want to encourage you with 2 words. Stop it. It's time for a change. Be encouraged, because he who the Son sets free is free indeed. Learn to live in the moment. In the fast-paced world that we live in, it's so easy to just get moving and moving and moving and moving that we miss opportunities that are right in front of us. Learn to live in the moment. If you live too far back in the past or too far ahead in the future, you will wind up not living at all. If we live too far in the past, or if we stay too far ahead of ourselves, we will miss everything that's in the here and now. I just want to say this, Jesse, you are probably an expert at this, of living in the moment. I see you so much in enjoying and appreciating and valuing people and relationships. Everybody, there's a lot of people here that way, but I just want to say this about you right now. I so appreciate when I see that in you, how you take time and you value each person that's brought across your path. You know, habits are created when we do things repeatedly. If you do something one time, your life won't change. It won't become a habit. You know, what we see, what we hear, gives us ideas and thoughts. And then what we think about will motivate us to do things. How do you hear what I'm saying? Motivate us to do things, and then whatever you do on a daily basis, those are called habits. And what you do habitually will eventually become not only your daily routine, but also your future. So it's so important to take time to live in the moment, to see what it is that God is speaking to you right now. Because if you bypass what's happening right now, you'll miss so much in the future. Recognize and take advantage of unrepeatable moments. Learn to value unrepeatable moments. Some things you will get opportunities to do over. Don't bring yourself under condemnation over things that you can do again or at another time. Don't bring yourself under guilt trips because of things that you can do them, there'll be more opportunities. But learn to discern what moments are not repeatable. Again, I so thank God that you have taken time to come out today. And some of these are basically just concepts and things that God has spoken to me and I've recognized and learned and written down and documented. God has spoken things to you as well. But just know that it's so important to take time to write these things down and to make the change and to move forward into your future, because when Whitney picked that song out, that's been our theme for the last couple of years. The best is yet to come. Your best days are not behind you. Your best days are right now and in your future. The best days are coming for you. The most demanding people in life often get all of our attention. And they create all of the drama and all the stress and all the tension and all the bad feelings and everything that's not good. So just realize that there are people who don't demand your time and your attention and who aren't stomping their feet, wanting you to recognize them. that's probably a good indication that those people are drama and stress and problems and heartaches and gut aches and headaches and other aches. Learn to recognize that there are people in your life who are not demanding your time and attention, who are probably standing ready to contribute and invest in your life. It's so important in any relationship and in anything in life, actually, to learn the difference between investing and spending. Investing and spending. When you spend your time, when you spend it on things that don't bring any return, that time is gone. That time, you can't get that time back. It's gone. And if the average life spans 100, whatever it is, that's one day out of your life, or one moment, or 1 hour, or 1 minute that's gone and it'll never come back. But when you invest of yourself and of your time, those things will bring back not only the principal that you invest, but also a return. And in relationships, that's so important. I just would like to say at this point that Dean and I met at a youth camp in 1979, 80. It was 1980, I think, the summer we first met. He and his wife were both teenagers in the youth camp where I was a counselor. And we've been friends. We've just kept in touch over the years and developed a relationship and been through thick and thin, been through some tough times together. And I just want to say that I so appreciate, Dean, that the time that you invested in our relationship. And I thank God that he showed me that there was a great reward in investing in Dean O'Brien's life. It's better to prepare than to repair. These guys were talking about at work the other day, going and exploring caves around here. I'm sorry. I'm not going into a dark hole where animals live. It's not going to happen. Not going to go there. And as they were talking about these caves, they were talking about squeezing through this opening in the cave. And I'm thinking, I'm not going to squeeze through an opening that I have to wedge myself through and then be totally vulnerable on the other side. I thought, what if I get in that cave and the other side of that cave is more narrow than the front part? And there was no way to even get started. And when I squeezed through there and turned around to explore the cave, there would be some kind of huge, ferocious animal looking right into my eyes. Not good. Not good. So sometimes we can get into things that are easier to get into than to get out of. So it's better to prepare than repair in relationships. We need to spend a lot more time on our forethoughts than our afterthoughts when it comes to relationships. Proverbs, I love this verse. Seek out the safety of a multitude of counselors. There is safety in a multitude of counselors, but only if you listen to their counsel. How many of you have ever seen red flags in relationships and you said, oh, that red flag's not for me, that must be for somebody else? I kind of like red. This person is surrounded by red. I see red flags, all these things, and yet I'm going to go ahead and do this anyway because I deserve it. I want it. I got to have it. I really need it. Don't ignore red flags. Avoid shortcuts when it comes to researching someone you're about to enter into a relationship with. Oil and water do not mix. A minute of good communication is better than years of silence. Become a good communicator. Silence is not always golden. There is probably not anyone in this room that has written that sentence more than me. Silence is golden. I was a bad kid in grade school. I bet I wrote that thing 1,000,000 times. Silence is golden, Michael McDermott. But silence is not always golden. Communication is very, very, very important. How many of you know that you can say the right thing the wrong way? Embrace conclusions and avoid confusion. Establish the issues that can be established and be marked as dealt with, and then move on to the next. Don't keep beating yourself up over things that have been covered under the blood. We're going to talk about this more in making bitter better. God gets severe, severe cases of forgetfulness when he forgives. And you know who it is that brings up the remembrance of the mistakes and the sins that we've done? It's us. So can we all stand to our feet just for a second? Would you just repeat this after me? I'm getting better as I follow Christ, as I walk in his forgiveness, as I walk in his love, as I walk in his mercy, and these concepts will create change in my relationships.